What if I told you that every major success story, every self-made millionaire, elite athlete, world-class performer, and groundbreaking innovator has used a secret tool that you probably aren't using to its full potential? What if I told you that the difference between those who achieve greatness and those who struggle isn't intelligence, luck, or talent, but the ability to see success before it happens so vividly and powerfully that the mind has no choice but to make it real? This is not a gimmick. It's not wishful thinking. It's science. It's psychology. It's reality. The world's most successful people don't just hope things will work out. They mentally program themselves for success. They rehearse their victories in their minds long before they happen. They create a future so real in their imagination that their brain starts treating it as inevitable. This is the power of visualization, and when you learn to harness it, you will completely redefine what's possible in your life. Right now, your mind is either working for you or against you. It's shaping your choices, your confidence, your ability to seize opportunities, or it's keeping you stuck in patterns of doubt, fear, and hesitation. If you're not actively training your brain to see success, your subconscious is likely reinforcing the limitations and struggles of your past. But that stops today. This book is going to teach you how to take full control of your mind, rewire your thoughts for success, and unlock a level of achievement you never thought possible. And the best part, you don't need any special skills to start. You don't need years of experience. You don't need luck, perfect circumstances, or even a detailed plan. All you need is the willingness to see yourself differently, to step into a future version of yourself so powerfully that your mind begins working around the clock to bring that vision into reality. By the time you finish this audiobook, you will have a skill so powerful that it will feel like you've unlocked a superpower, because in many ways, you have. Why this book? What you'll gain? Let's be clear, visualization is not some mystical feel-good practice. It's a tool that top performers use daily to win. The problem is, most people don't understand how to use it properly. They try it a few times, don't see immediate results, and give up. Or worse, they fall into the trap of daydreaming without ever taking action. This book is different. This is not about empty motivation or vague positive thinking. This is about rewiring your brain for success in a way that guarantees results. Here's what you're about to unlock. 1. The science of visualization. Understand how elite athletes, self-made millionaires, and world-class performers use visualization to create unstoppable confidence, reshape their reality, and achieve the impossible. 2. The right way to visualize? Learn step-by-step techniques to make your visualizations so powerful, so detailed, and so emotionally charged that your brain starts working overtime to make them real. 3. How to eliminate self-doubt and mental blocks. Discover how to shut down limiting beliefs, silence the inner critic, and reprogram your subconscious mind for unstoppable momentum. 4. How to use visualization to trigger massive action. Visualization isn't just about seeing success. It's about using it to create the motivation, discipline, and drive you need to make things happen. 5. Making visualization a daily habit for life-changing results. You'll learn simple, powerful daily practices that ensure you don't just experience short bursts of motivation, but create lasting, life-altering transformations. It doesn't matter where you're starting from. It doesn't matter what obstacles you've faced in the past. Once you master the art of visualization, you will never approach life the same way again. This is your chance to take control of your future, to break free from limitations, and to step into the unstoppable, high-achieving version of yourself that has been waiting for you all along. How to get the most out of this audiobook. If you're serious about changing your life, this audiobook is not something you just listen to. It's something you apply. The concepts, techniques, and strategies you'll learn here are proven, tested, and designed to create real, tangible change, but only if you commit to using them. Here's how to maximize your results. Engage fully. Don't just listen, participate. When I guide you through visualizations, actually do them. When I challenge you to think differently, go all in. Be consistent. Visualization isn't something you do once and forget about. It's a skill. And like any skill, the more you use it, the stronger it gets. Trust the process. Some of what you'll learn may challenge what you've been taught about success. Some of it may feel uncomfortable at first. That's normal. Growth happens outside your comfort zone. Stick with it, and the results will come. This is not just another self-help book. This is a manual for transforming your mind, your habits, and your entire life. The people who succeed with visualization are the ones who fully commit. Are you ready to be one of them? A quick exercise. Your first visualization. Let's not wait. Let's prove right now that your mind is more powerful than you think. Close your eyes, unless you're driving or in a situation where you need to be alert, and take a deep breath. Now, imagine waking up tomorrow as the most successful, confident, unstoppable version of yourself. See it. Where are you? What does your environment look like? What do you feel in your body? Energy, excitement, purpose? Picture yourself walking through your day with complete certainty, handling challenges effortlessly, attracting opportunities, and knowing without a doubt that success is yours. Hold on to that feeling. That's just the beginning. If you could feel even a fraction of what's possible in just a few moments, imagine what will happen when you train your mind to do this every single day. Let's begin. Your future starts now. Chapter 1. Unlocking the mind's most powerful secret. Have you ever stopped to wonder why some people seem to achieve their dreams effortlessly, while others struggle despite working tirelessly? Is success truly a matter of luck, intelligence, or sheer hard work? Or is there an unseen force, a hidden tool that high achievers use, one that isn't taught in school or openly discussed in everyday conversations? The truth is, there is a secret. It has been used by some of the world's greatest minds, from elite athletes to billionaire entrepreneurs, and even by everyday people who have transformed their lives from ordinary to extraordinary. This secret is visualization, a simple yet profoundly powerful mental technique that can reshape your reality, unlock untapped potential, and set you on a course toward success. Most people live their lives in a reactive state, responding to circumstances instead of actively designing their future. They rely on external forces, luck, opportunity, chance encounters, to determine their fate. But what if I told you that you don't have to wait for the stars to align? What if you could take control, shape your future, and bring your wildest dreams into existence through the power of focused mental imagery? This is not some abstract self-help philosophy or a vague motivational theory. It is grounded in science, backed by neuroscience and psychology, and demonstrated by the world's most accomplished individuals. The ability to visualize a goal, see it in your mind with such clarity that it feels real, activates a chain reaction in your brain and body that makes achieving it not just possible, but inevitable. Think about it. Every invention, every breakthrough, every revolutionary idea began as a mental image in someone's mind. Thomas Edison saw the light bulb before it existed. Steve Jobs envisioned the iPhone long before the first prototype was built. Michael Phelps, one of the greatest Olympians in history, visualized every stroke of his races before he even stepped into the water. The common denominator? They saw it before they achieved it. But visualization is not just for the elite. It is for anyone willing to use it. You don't need a high IQ, a privileged background, or rare talents. You only need your mind, a clear vision, and the willingness to practice. In this chapter, we will break down the fundamentals of visualization, what it is, why it works, and how you can start applying it to your life immediately. By the time you finish reading, you will not only understand the concept, but feel an urgent need to put it into action. Because once you grasp the sheer power of this technique, you will never want to go back to merely hoping things work out. You will take control, and that control will change everything. Now, let's dive in. What is visualization? More than just a daydream. The word visualization often gets misunderstood. Some assume it's just daydreaming, a passive, wishful thinking process where you simply fantasize about what you want. Others think of it as magical thinking, as though merely picturing success will make it appear out of thin air. But visualization is neither of these things. It is a structured, intentional mental practice that aligns your thoughts, emotions, and actions toward a specific goal. It is a way of training your brain to believe in a future reality before it happens, increasing the likelihood of it becoming true. To put it simply, visualization is mental rehearsal. Just as a musician practices a song repeatedly before a performance, you can practice success in your mind before it happens in real life. And just like any skill, the more you practice, the better you get. When done correctly, visualization engages all the senses, not just sight. It's not enough to see yourself achieving your goal. You must feel it, hear it, smell it, even taste it if applicable. For example, if you're an aspiring author, don't just picture yourself writing a book. Imagine the feeling of the pen in your hand, the scent of fresh ink, the sound of pages turning, and the deep satisfaction of holding your published work. Why does this matter? Because the brain processes mental images and real experiences in strikingly similar ways. When you visualize vividly and emotionally, your brain begins to believe that the scenario is real. This triggers a cascade of neurological responses, rewiring your mind to align with the vision you've created. And this is where the magic happens. How your mind transforms thoughts into reality. Your brain is not a passive organ. It is an active prediction machine. It constantly scans the environment, searching for patterns and clues to determine what's possible and what's not. But here's the catch. Your brain doesn't always distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. Studies in neuroscience show that when you visualize an experience, your brain activates the same neural pathways as if you were actually living it. This means that if you repeatedly visualize success, your brain begins to treat that vision as reality. Over time, it rewires itself to help you make decisions, take actions, and attract opportunities that align with your mental image. This is why elite athletes use mental rehearsal before competitions. Studies have shown that visualizing a physical action stimulates the same brain regions as actually performing it. In some cases, mental practice alone has been shown to improve muscle strength and coordination even without physical movement. But it's not just about athletic performance. If you consistently visualize yourself as confident, capable, and successful, your brain begins to shift your identity to match that vision. Your subconscious mind starts looking for ways to turn it into reality, whether that means spotting new opportunities, pushing past fears, or making smarter choices. The key takeaway? Your thoughts are not passive. They shape your reality. The way you see yourself in your mind determines how you show up in the world. The role of emotions in visualization. One of the most crucial yet overlooked aspects of visualization is emotion. Simply picturing a goal isn't enough. You must attach strong positive emotions to it. Why? Because emotion amplifies memory and belief. When you imagine achieving something and genuinely feel the joy, pride, excitement, and gratitude that comes with it, your brain creates stronger neural connections around that image. This makes the vision more compelling, more believable, and more deeply ingrained in your subconscious. Think of it this way. Have you ever had a vivid dream that felt so real that you woke up convinced it had actually happened? That's because your brain responded to the emotions in the dream, not just the images. The same principle applies to visualization. When you feel the success before it happens, your brain starts treating it as inevitable rather than just a possibility. And when something feels inevitable, you take action differently. You make bolder decisions. You persist through obstacles. You start behaving like the successful person you visualized. Emotion is the fuel that turns visualization from just a picture in your mind into a force that reshapes your reality. Chapter 2. The History and Timeless Power of Visualization. The concept of visualization is not new. Though modern neuroscience has provided concrete evidence of its effects, the truth is, the greatest minds in history have been using this power long before science could explain why it works. From the visionaries of ancient civilizations to the trailblazers of the modern world, visualization has been at the heart of progress, innovation, and personal transformation. The greatest empires were built on the foundation of an idea imagined before it was brought into existence. The most remarkable achievements of humankind, from engineering marvels to artistic masterpieces, from scientific breakthroughs to cultural revolutions, were first visualized in the minds of those bold enough to see beyond their current reality. It is no accident that those who shaped history possessed the ability to imagine a future that did not yet exist, and to hold that vision with such unwavering clarity that it seemed inevitable. Ancient cultures understood this power long before the language of neuroscience could explain it. The Egyptians, for example, meticulously planned their pyramids, not merely as structures of stone, but as monuments conceived in the realm of the mind, long before a single block was laid. Every measurement, every intricate design was first visualized with stunning precision, allowing them to construct architectural wonders that have stood the test of time. The Greeks, too, recognized the power of mental imagery. Aristotle, one of the greatest philosophers in history, spoke of phantasia, the mind's ability to generate internal representations of reality, shaping thought and action alike. The great warriors of Sparta and Rome trained not only their bodies but their minds, engaging in mental rehearsals of battle to ensure that when the time came, their actions were swift, their instincts honed, their movements second nature. This mental conditioning was no different from what modern soldiers and elite athletes use today. It was an early form of visualization, a technique for preparing the mind to command the body with precision and confidence. Fast forward through the centuries, and we find that some of the most renowned artists, scientists, and inventors attributed their success to the ability to see what others could not. Leonardo da Vinci, often regarded as one of the greatest minds of all time, used visualization not only as a tool for artistic creation, but as a method for invention. His notebooks, filled with intricate sketches of machines and anatomical studies, were manifestations of images he had already constructed in his mind. He saw his flying machines long before aviation was even conceivable, his designs taking shape in the realm of thought before being committed to paper. Similarly, Nikola Tesla, the visionary scientist who revolutionized electricity, famously claimed that he could build and test his inventions entirely in his imagination before ever constructing a physical prototype. He described this process in astonishing detail, explaining how he could see, adjust, and refine complex mechanical designs in his mind with such clarity that he could anticipate how they would function without ever touching a single material component. Even beyond the realm of science and invention, the power of visualization has been a defining force in business, sports, and personal success. Henry Ford, the man who transformed the automobile industry, was known for his relentless belief in the power of mental imagery to create physical outcomes. He famously said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." This wasn't just motivational rhetoric. It was a reflection of the profound truth that your beliefs shape your actions, and your actions shape your reality. Ford visualized an efficient, affordable automobile at a time when the very idea was ridiculed. He refused to accept the limitations of the present and instead saw a future that others deemed impossible, until he made it real. The role of visualization in sports is even more striking. The greatest athletes of all time, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, Serena Williams, Kobe Bryant, and countless others, have all credited mental imagery as one of the most critical components of their training. Muhammad Ali, long before neuroscience confirmed the power of visualization, understood instinctively that his mind was his most formidable weapon. He would famously declare himself the champion before stepping into the ring, not as an act of arrogance, but as an act of certainty. He saw his victories before they happened, rehearsing every movement, every punch, every step, until it became reality. Similarly, Michael Jordan was not just a physical prodigy, but a master of mental conditioning. He visualized each shot, each play, each moment of triumph, long before the game began. He once said, "Every day I imagined where I wanted to be, what it would be like when I got there, what it would take to get there." His legendary ability to perform under pressure was not just a result of physical practice, but of the thousands of mental rehearsals he had already conducted in his mind. Perhaps one of the most famous modern examples of visualization in sports comes from Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps. His coach, Bob Bowman, designed a mental training routine that involved intense visualization exercises. Phelps would spend hours picturing himself in the pool, feeling the water against his skin, sensing the movements of his body, and rehearsing every possible scenario, including setbacks. In one of the most dramatic Olympic races of his career, when his goggles filled with water and he was unable to see, Phelps remained unfazed. He had already visualized this exact scenario countless times, mentally rehearsing what to do if he lost his vision mid-race. He executed his plan flawlessly, swimming blind and still winning gold. This was not luck. This was the power of mental preparation shaping physical reality. The application of visualization goes beyond sports, beyond business, beyond history. It extends into personal growth, into the fabric of everyday life. Oprah Winfrey, one of the most influential figures in media, has often spoken about how she used visualization long before she achieved success. She imagined herself in the life she wanted, holding on to that vision with such conviction that it became an unshakable belief. She once said, "Create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life, because you become what you believe." Her story, like so many others, is a testament to the fact that what you see in your mind determines what you experience in reality. What does all of this mean for you? It means that visualization is not just an abstract concept or a technique reserved for the elite. It is a tool available to anyone willing to use it. The evidence is overwhelming, the historical examples undeniable. Those who have mastered this skill have outperformed, outlasted, and outshined those who have relied purely on external conditions. This is the difference between those who let life happen to them and those who shape their destinies with intention. The ability to visualize your future with absolute clarity, to engage with your vision emotionally, and to align your actions with that mental image is one of the most powerful abilities you can develop. It is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Now that we have explored the history and undeniable power of visualization, it's time to go deeper into the mechanics of how to do it effectively. In the next section, we will break down the key principles of effective visualization techniques, teaching you how to construct images in your mind with precision, how to infuse them with emotion, and how to activate your brain in a way that makes them feel inevitable. The greatest minds in history have used this skill to shape the world around them. Now it's your turn to do the same. Chapter 3. How visualization shapes your reality. The human mind is a vast, intricate system capable of extraordinary feats that most people never fully tap into. At its core, it is a reality-shaping machine, constantly interpreting, filtering, and constructing your experience of the world. Every thought you think, every mental image you create, and every belief you hold shapes the decisions you make, the opportunities you recognize, and ultimately, the life you live. Most people move through life unaware of the extent to which their internal world dictates their external reality. They believe their circumstances are fixed, that success is a matter of chance or privilege, and that their limitations are set in stone. But in truth, their reality is being shaped moment by moment, not by external forces alone, but by the stories they tell themselves and the mental pictures they repeatedly reinforce. This is where visualization becomes a revolutionary tool, not just for achieving goals, but for fundamentally altering the way you experience the world. To understand the true power of visualization, you must first grasp a profound truth. Your brain is always predicting the future. Whether you realize it or not, your mind is constantly running simulations, forecasting outcomes, and adjusting your behavior based on the images and expectations you hold. This process happens beneath the surface of consciousness, shaping everything from your confidence levels to your ability to seize opportunities. Neuroscientists have discovered that the brain is not merely reactive, it is predictive. It does not just passively process information. It actively constructs your reality based on past experiences, internal narratives, and the mental images you create. When you visualize a future event with clarity and emotion, your brain registers it as a real experience, reinforcing neural pathways that make that outcome more likely to occur. This is why top performers in every field use visualization as a preparation tool. It allows them to practice success in their minds so that when the moment arrives, their brain and body already know how to respond. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence for the brain's predictive nature comes from studies on mental rehearsal and physical performance. In one groundbreaking experiment, researchers split participants into 3 groups and tested their ability to improve a specific physical skill: free throws in basketball. The first group practiced by physically shooting free throws every day. The second group practiced only in their minds, vividly imagining themselves making perfect shots without ever touching a basketball. The third group did nothing at all. After several weeks, the results were astonishing. The first group improved their performance, as expected, due to physical practice. But the second group, those who had only visualized the action, showed almost the same level of improvement as those who had physically trained. The third group, unsurprisingly, showed no improvement. This study, along with countless others, confirms that mental rehearsal alone can produce measurable physical changes, reinforcing the fact that your brain cannot easily distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. This phenomenon extends beyond physical performance. Consider the implications for self-confidence, decision-making, and goal achievement. If your brain is constantly predicting the future based on your mental images and expectations, then what happens when you repeatedly visualize failure, rejection, or disappointment? What happens when you constantly replay past mistakes or imagine worst-case scenarios? Your brain registers those images as reality, reinforcing negative neural pathways that shape your behavior in ways that make those fears more likely to come true. This is why people who expect failure tend to experience more of it, not because they are inherently less capable, but because their minds are conditioning them to interpret and react to life in ways that confirm their expectations. Now, reverse that process. What happens when you consistently visualize success, confidence, and mastery? When you see yourself achieving your goals, handling challenges with ease, and stepping into the person you want to become, your brain begins to treat those images as real, strengthening neural pathways that align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with that reality. You start noticing opportunities you would have otherwise ignored. You make decisions with greater certainty. You approach setbacks with resilience rather than doubt. You begin operating from a mental framework of success rather than limitation. At the heart of this process is a concept known as neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself based on repeated experiences and thoughts. For decades, scientists believed that the brain was largely fixed after childhood, but modern research has proven otherwise. Your brain is constantly adapting, forming new connections, and reorganizing itself based on the stimuli it receives. This means that every time you visualize a desired outcome, you are quite literally rewiring your brain to become more aligned with that reality. The more frequently you engage in visualization, the stronger those neural connections become until they start operating automatically. This is how deeply ingrained beliefs and habits are formed, through repetition and reinforcement. By deliberately visualizing your goals and embodying the emotions associated with their achievement, you are shaping your brain in ways that make success not just possible, but inevitable. But visualization is not just about imagining outcomes. It is also about priming your subconscious mind to take action. The subconscious mind is immensely powerful, processing information at speeds far beyond what the conscious mind can handle. It is responsible for intuitive decisions, gut feelings, and automatic behaviors. When you repeatedly visualize a goal with clarity and emotion, your subconscious mind begins working behind the scenes, guiding your actions, filtering information, and subtly nudging you toward behaviors that align with your vision. You may find yourself making different choices without consciously realizing why. You may notice new opportunities that seem to appear out of nowhere. This is not coincidence. It is the result of programming your mind to recognize and act on the very things that will move you closer to your goal. A perfect example of this is seen in the world of entrepreneurship. Many of the most successful business leaders did not start with vast resources or perfect conditions. They started with a vision, an image in their mind so compelling and so vivid that they refused to let go of it. Steve Jobs, for instance, did not just build Apple. He saw Apple in his mind before it ever existed. He imagined a world where personal computers were beautifully designed, intuitive, and accessible to everyone. That vision, held with unwavering clarity, guided every decision he made. Elon Musk, long before Tesla and SpaceX became reality, spent years visualizing interplanetary travel, sustainable energy, and a world transformed by innovation. His ability to hold on to those images, despite the overwhelming obstacles, is what allowed him to persist where others would have given up. The truth is, you are already visualizing every single day, whether you realize it or not. The question is, are you visualizing deliberately and effectively, or are you allowing your mind to replay images of doubt, fear, and failure? Are you using your brain's predictive power to create a future you want? Or are you reinforcing patterns that keep you stuck? The good news is, you have the ability to take control of this process. You have the ability to start shaping your thoughts, your beliefs, and your internal images in ways that align with your highest potential. Chapter 4: The Science Behind Visualization. How your brain makes it real for centuries. The power of visualization was seen as something mystical, an almost magical ability that separated the successful from the ordinary. Ancient wisdom, religious teachings, and even folklore spoke of those who could see their future before it arrived. Those who believed so deeply in an outcome that the world seemed to bend in their favor. But today, we no longer have to rely on metaphors or anecdotal evidence to understand why visualization works. Science has proven what the greatest minds of history intuitively understood. When you see something clearly in your mind, your brain treats it as real. At the core of this phenomenon is a powerful mechanism called the reticular activating system, RAS. This small but mighty network of neurons in the brainstem acts as a gatekeeper of information, filtering what enters your conscious awareness. At any given moment, your brain is bombarded with millions of bits of sensory data: sounds, colors, movements, messages, emotions. But you can only focus on a tiny fraction of it. Without this filtering system, your mind would be overwhelmed by noise. The RAS decides what is important based on what you consistently focus on, what you believe, and what you visualize. This is why, when you buy a new car, you suddenly start seeing that exact model everywhere. It was always there, but your brain previously ignored it. The same principle applies to goals, opportunities, and success. When you repeatedly visualize an outcome, your RAS prioritizes anything in the external world that aligns with that image, making you more aware of opportunities that were previously invisible to you. But the RAS is just one part of the puzzle. The real magic happens in the neural circuitry of your brain, specifically in how visualization strengthens and rewires your pathways for success. Neuroscientists have discovered that when you imagine an action vividly, your brain activates the same regions as when you physically perform that action. This means that whether you are mentally rehearsing a speech, picturing yourself confidently closing a deal, or visualizing yourself overcoming an obstacle, your brain is treating it as a real experience. With enough repetition, these mental rehearsals create new neural pathways, reinforcing behaviors and emotional responses that align with your vision. This concept is known as Hebbian learning, named after psychologist Donald Hebb, who famously stated, "Neurons that fire together, wire together." In other words, when certain thoughts, emotions, and actions are repeatedly activated, the neural connections associated with them become stronger and more automatic. This is why professional athletes spend as much time visualizing their performance as they do physically training. The more they imagine a perfect shot, the more their brain rewires itself to execute that shot effortlessly under pressure. The same principle applies to business, personal growth, and any other area of life. When you consistently visualize success, your brain makes success your default mode of operation. Even more fascinating is the role of mirror neurons, a special class of brain cells that fire not only when we perform an action, but also when we observe someone else performing it. These neurons explain why watching someone yawn can make you yawn, why athletes can improve their skills just by watching recordings of great performances, and why visualization is so powerful. When you picture yourself succeeding, whether it's delivering a powerful speech, excelling in an interview, or confidently networking at an event, your mirror neurons react as if you are already experiencing that moment. Over time, this creates a deep sense of familiarity and confidence, reducing fear and hesitation when the real situation arises. The science behind visualization doesn't stop there. It also has a profound impact on your hormones and physiological responses. When you imagine something vividly, your brain triggers the release of chemicals that reinforce that emotional state. For example, if you repeatedly visualize yourself thriving in a challenging situation, your brain releases dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with motivation and reward. This creates a positive feedback loop. The more you visualize success, the more your brain associates that vision with pleasure and motivation, making you more driven to take real-world action. Similarly, when you mentally rehearse confidence, your brain reduces the production of cortisol, the stress hormone, making you feel more relaxed and self-assured. Perhaps the most compelling evidence of visualization's power comes from studies on patients recovering from injuries. Researchers have found that mental imagery alone can accelerate physical healing. In one study, patients recovering from hand surgery were divided into two groups, one that performed standard physical therapy and another that only visualized moving their hands without any physical movement. The astonishing result? The group that engaged in visualization regained strength and mobility at nearly the same rate as those who physically exercised. This finding has profound implications, not just for recovery, but for how we can use visualization to prime our bodies for peak performance. So what does all of this mean for you? It means that visualization is not just a mental exercise. It is a biological process that rewires your brain, conditions your emotions, and programs your subconscious to align with your goals. It means that every time you see yourself achieving something in your mind, you are laying down the neurological foundation to make it happen in reality. It means that the most successful people in the world are not just lucky or gifted. They have trained their minds to work in their favor, to recognize opportunities, to persist through obstacles, and to execute their vision with precision. But here's the key. Visualization alone is not enough. Many people hear about the power of visualization and assume that simply imagining success will bring results. They think that if they close their eyes and picture wealth, happiness, or a thriving career, it will magically appear. This is not how it works. Visualization is a tool, not a substitute for action. Its purpose is to rewire your brain, strengthen your belief system, and prime you for opportunities. But it is your responsibility to take action when those opportunities arise. The best way to think of visualization is as mental training for real-world execution. Just as an athlete visualizes before stepping onto the field, you must use visualization to prepare yourself to perform when it matters most. Chapter 5. Mastering the Art of Effective Visualization. Now that you understand the science behind visualization and how it actively rewires your brain for success, the next step is learning how to apply it effectively. Many people attempt visualization but struggle to see results because they do it in a way that is either passive, vague, or inconsistent. To unlock its full potential, you must approach visualization with intention, precision, and emotion. It is not just about daydreaming or seeing random images in your mind. It is about creating a detailed, multisensory mental experience so powerful that your brain cannot distinguish it from reality. When done correctly, visualization has the ability to shift your mindset, influence your behavior, and trigger the subconscious mechanisms that will guide you toward achieving your goals. The first key to mastering visualization is clarity. A vague or weak mental image has little impact on your brain's neural pathways. For example, if you simply picture yourself successful without defining what success looks like, your brain has no clear blueprint to follow. Instead, you must create a vision that is highly specific, so detailed and real that you can almost touch it. If your goal is to start a thriving business, don't just imagine having a business. Close your eyes and visualize the exact moment of success. See yourself sitting at your desk, reading an email about a massive breakthrough, or walking into a boardroom to sign a deal. Imagine the way your office looks, the colors of the walls, the texture of your chair. Feel the weight of the pen in your hand as you sign the contract. Hear the sound of your team clapping as you announce a milestone. The more realistic and specific your visualization, the more powerfully it will imprint onto your brain. Beyond clarity, the emotional intensity of your visualization determines its effectiveness. Your brain does not just respond to images, it responds to feelings. This is why emotionally charged experiences, whether positive or negative, tend to be the most deeply ingrained in memory. When you visualize, it is crucial to fully immerse yourself in the emotions you would feel if your goal were already achieved. If you are picturing yourself giving a powerful speech to a captivated audience, don't just see it. Feel it. Experience the confidence surging through you, the excitement building in your chest, the sense of pride as the audience erupts in applause. The stronger your emotional connection to your vision, the more your brain will register it as a real experience, strengthening the neural pathways associated with that success. Another critical component of effective visualization is engaging all 5 senses. Many people limit visualization to mental images alone, but the most powerful visualizations are multisensory experiences. When you imagine your future success, don't just see it. Hear it, feel it, smell it, and even taste it. If you are visualizing yourself achieving a major fitness goal, Hear the sound of your shoes hitting the pavement. Feel the sweat dripping down your back. Smell the fresh morning air and taste the cool water as you take a deep breath. The more realistic and immersive your visualization, the more your brain will accept it as reality, strengthening the neural pathways that make success feel inevitable. Consistency is another non-negotiable factor in visualization. One of the biggest mistakes people make is treating visualization as a one-time or occasional practice. In reality, for visualization to be effective, it must become a daily ritual. Just as an athlete trains their muscles repeatedly to build strength, you must train your brain consistently to rewire it for success. Daily visualization helps reinforce the mental pathways that drive motivation, confidence, and action. Whether you dedicate 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes before bed, or even small moments throughout the day, making visualization a habit ensures that it becomes an automatic, powerful force in shaping your decisions and behaviors. To make visualization even more effective, you can combine it with affirmations and self-talk. The words you speak to yourself have a direct impact on your beliefs and identity. If you consistently visualize success, but then fill your thoughts with self-doubt or limiting beliefs, you create mental conflict that weakens your progress. Instead, pair your visualization practice with empowering statements that reinforce your vision. For example, if you are visualizing yourself confidently leading a team, repeat affirmations like, "I am a strong, capable leader," or "I inspire and empower those around me." When your inner dialogue aligns with your visualization, you accelerate the process of rewiring your brain for success. A powerful technique to enhance your visualization practice is mental rehearsal. This is commonly used by elite athletes, performers, and top professionals to practice success before it happens. Instead of just visualizing the final outcome, mentally rehearse the entire journey step by step. If your goal is to give a TED Talk, don't just picture yourself on stage. Imagine the entire experience. See yourself preparing for weeks in advance, feel the nerves before stepping onto the stage, hear the audience's silence as they hang on your every word. Mentally walk through every step of the process, so when the real moment arrives, it feels familiar and natural. This technique significantly reduces anxiety and improves performance because your brain believes you have already experienced success before it happens. Another way to maximize the impact of visualization is by using vision boards and written scripting. Vision boards are powerful because they provide a constant visual reminder of your goals, reinforcing your subconscious programming. By surrounding yourself with images, quotes, and representations of your desired future, you train your brain to stay focused on what you want. Similarly, written scripting involves writing out your visualization in vivid detail, as if you are describing a scene from a movie. This engages the brain in a different way, making the vision even more tangible. For example, if your goal is to travel the world, write out a detailed entry describing the moment you step off the plane in a new country, the smell of the ocean breeze, the excitement in your chest as you explore the streets. The act of writing helps solidify the visualization and make it more deeply ingrained in your subconscious. Perhaps one of the most important aspects of visualization is taking aligned action. Visualization alone is not a magic trick. It is a tool to prime your brain for action. Once you have clearly seen your goal in your mind, it is essential to take steps, no matter how small, toward making it a reality. Many people make the mistake of visualizing success, but then failing to act. True manifestation occurs when thought and action work in harmony. If you visualize yourself becoming an author, start writing. If you see yourself as a successful entrepreneur, take the first step toward building your business. Action fuels visualization, and visualization fuels action. Together, they create unstoppable momentum. Chapter 6: Real-Life Success, Stories, Visualization in Action. Now that we have explored the science behind visualization, and how to practice it effectively, the next natural question is, does it really work in the real world? Is visualization just a psychological trick? Or has it played a crucial role in the success of those who have reached extraordinary heights? The answer is clear and undeniable. Some of the most accomplished people in history, across every industry, have credited visualization as a foundational tool in their journey. From elite athletes to world-changing entrepreneurs, artists, and thought leaders, their stories reveal a common theme. Before they achieved their success, they saw it in their minds first. One of the most well-documented examples of visualization in action comes from Michael Phelps, the most decorated Olympian of all time. His coach, Bob Bowman, introduced him to the power of mental imagery early in his training, instructing him to visualize every aspect of his races with extreme precision. Every night before he slept and every morning before training, Phelps would close his eyes and mentally run through his races in minute detail. He would imagine himself diving off the block, feeling the water rush past his body, executing every stroke with perfection, turning at the wall, and pushing forward with unstoppable momentum. He not only saw himself winning, he felt it. He trained his brain to expect victory, to anticipate the precise sensations of performing at his peak. This mental training paid off in ways that went beyond motivation. In the 2008 Beijing Olympics, during the 200-meter butterfly final, something unexpected happened. Phelps's goggles filled with water, completely obstructing his vision. For most athletes, this would have been a devastating setback, a moment of panic that could cost them the race. But for Phelps, it was not a disaster. It was something he had already rehearsed in his mind. He had visualized every possible scenario, including swimming blind. He knew exactly how many strokes it took to reach the wall. Without hesitation, he continued his race flawlessly, setting a world record despite being unable to see. This is the power of visualization. It prepares the mind and body so thoroughly that even unexpected obstacles cannot shake confidence or performance. The same principle applies in business and entrepreneurship. Consider Jim Carrey, one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood, who openly credits visualization as a defining factor in his success. In the early 1990s, when he was struggling to find acting roles and living in near poverty, Carrey engaged in a powerful visualization ritual. He wrote himself a check for $10 million, post-dated it for 5 years in the future, and carried it in his wallet. Every day he would drive up to Mulholland Drive, park his car, and vividly imagine himself as a successful actor, receiving million-dollar movie deals, making audiences laugh, and living the life he had always dreamed of. For years, nothing changed. He still faced rejection, still struggled financially, but he never stopped believing in his vision. And then, in 1994, just before the 5-year mark on his check, Carrey landed the lead role in Dumb and Dumber, earning him, almost to the dollar, the exact amount he had written on that check years earlier. His story is a testament to the power of unwavering belief and mental conditioning. He saw it, he felt it, and eventually, reality caught up with his vision. Another striking example comes from Oprah Winfrey, who has spoken extensively about how visualization played a crucial role in her rise from poverty to becoming one of the most influential media moguls in history. As a child growing up in extreme hardship, Oprah used to imagine herself speaking on stage, inspiring audiences, and making a global impact. Even when she was struggling in the early days of her career, she never let go of that vision. Before landing her breakthrough role in The Color Purple, she visualized herself being a part of the film, deeply immersing herself in the emotions of what it would feel like to bring that role to life. She didn't just wish for it, she felt it as if it had already happened. In an interview, she recalled how, after auditioning for the role, she was told she wasn't a good fit. Instead of accepting defeat, she turned to visualization. She went on a spiritual retreat, repeatedly imagining herself receiving the role, feeling gratitude in advance as if it were already hers. Then, as if by fate, she received a phone call from Steven Spielberg, offering her the part that would launch her acting career. Oprah often says that you must see it in your mind before it manifests in your life, and her journey is proof of that truth. Even in sports beyond swimming, the impact of visualization is staggering. Muhammad Ali, widely regarded as one of the greatest boxers of all time, was not just a master of physical training. He was a master of mental training. He famously used affirmations and mental imagery to condition his mind for victory. Long before stepping into the ring, he would repeatedly tell himself, "I am the greatest." He would mentally rehearse his fights, picturing himself outmaneuvering his opponents, anticipating their moves, and delivering decisive blows. To Ali, winning began in the mind before it ever happened in the ring. His confidence, his resilience, and his ability to dominate his sport were deeply rooted in the mental conditioning he practiced through visualization. But visualization is not just for athletes and celebrities. It has been a key tool for entrepreneurs, business leaders, and creatives across all industries. Walt Disney, long before he became a household name, was a struggling artist with nothing but a vision. He often said, "If you can dream it, you can do it." Despite facing countless failures, bankruptcies, and rejection from investors, he never let go of the mental image of the world he wanted to create. Before Disneyland was built, before Mickey Mouse became a global icon, he saw it all in his mind first. Today, his name is synonymous with imagination, creativity, and bringing dreams to life, all of which were fueled by an unshakable ability to visualize his success. These real-life stories illustrate a powerful universal truth. Visualization is not a gimmick, nor is it limited to certain people. It is a tool available to everyone, regardless of background, talent, or resources. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not just ability. It is belief, persistence, and the willingness to see the future before it arrives. When you visualize consistently, you're not simply engaging in wishful thinking. You are training your brain to recognize opportunities, build confidence, and take action toward your goals. But there's one more critical element to this equation. You must combine visualization with real-world effort. None of the people we've discussed achieved success through visualization alone. Phelps trained relentlessly. Carey auditioned tirelessly. Oprah worked through every challenge. Visualization primes your mind, but it is action that brings the vision to life. The real magic happens when thought and effort align. Chapter 7. Common mistakes and how to avoid them. With so many success stories demonstrating the transformative power of visualization, it might seem like a straightforward practice. Simply close your eyes, imagine success, and watch it manifest. Yet, many people struggle to see results. They visualize daily, repeat affirmations, and even create vision boards. But nothing seems to change. The reason? They are unknowingly making critical mistakes that dilute the power of their visualization. Understanding these mistakes and learning how to correct them is essential if you want visualization to work for you. Visualization is not just about seeing images in your mind. It's about creating a mental environment that shapes your thoughts, actions, and behaviors in a way that leads to real-world results. When done incorrectly, visualization can become passive daydreaming, offering momentary inspiration, but no real impact. When done correctly, it rewires your subconscious mind, influencing your decisions and guiding you toward success with laser-like focus. One of the most common mistakes people make is visualizing without emotion. They picture their goals, but they do so in a detached, surface-level way, as if they are watching a movie rather than living inside the experience. The brain does not respond powerfully to neutral images. It responds to feelings. If your visualization lacks emotion, intensity, and sensory detail, it will not create the deep neural imprint necessary to shift your subconscious beliefs and habits. For example, if you visualize yourself becoming a successful entrepreneur, but you feel no excitement, confidence, or passion during the process, your brain will not register the experience as meaningful. On the other hand, if you fully immerse yourself, feeling the adrenaline of signing a huge business deal, the pride of seeing your company thrive, and the joy of financial freedom, your brain will perceive the visualization as a lived experience, strengthening the mental pathways associated with success. Another mistake is visualizing from a third-person perspective rather than a first-person perspective. Many people picture themselves as if they are watching a movie of their success, seeing themselves from a distance rather than experiencing the vision through their own eyes. While this can still be somewhat effective, first-person visualization is far more powerful because it tricks the brain into believing the experience is real. When you visualize in first person, you are no longer an outsider looking in. You are inside the experience, fully immersed. If your goal is to deliver an inspiring speech, don't see yourself standing on stage from the audience's perspective. See it through your own eyes. Feel the weight of the microphone in your hand. Hear the murmur of the crowd before you begin. Sense the warmth of the stage lights on your face. This shift in perspective makes an enormous difference in how deeply your brain registers the experience. Equally damaging is being too vague in your visualization. Many people make the mistake of imagining a generic version of success. I want to be rich. I want to be happy. Or I want to be successful. The problem with vague visualization is that it lacks specificity, and without clarity, the brain has nothing concrete to work toward. The more precise your vision, the more powerfully it will shape your subconscious mind. Instead of saying, I want to be successful, define what success means to you. Is it earning a six-figure income? Owning a thriving business? Becoming a best-selling author? Living in a beachfront home? Once you have clarity, visualize exact details: the number in your bank account, the smell of your dream home, the feeling of accomplishment after achieving your goal. The more vividly you can define your vision, the more real it becomes to your mind. Another pitfall is visualizing without taking action. This is perhaps the most damaging misconception about visualization. Some people believe that simply imagining success is enough to make it materialize, but visualization is not magic. It is a tool to prime your mind for action. No matter how clearly you visualize your goals, if you do not take steps toward them, nothing will change. Visualization works best when combined with deliberate, focused effort. If you visualize yourself becoming a top athlete but do not train, your visualization is meaningless. If you see yourself as a best-selling author but never write a word, your vision remains a fantasy. True manifestation happens when thought and action work in harmony. When you use visualization to strengthen your belief in yourself and then take concrete steps to make your vision a reality. A less obvious mistake that many people make is allowing self-doubt to creep into their visualization practice. They visualize their goals, but deep down, they don't fully believe they can achieve them. This internal contradiction weakens the power of visualization. If part of your mind is saying, "This will never happen," your subconscious will not accept the vision as real, and it will not guide you toward the necessary actions to achieve it. To overcome this, you must not only visualize success, but also train your mind to believe in your own ability to achieve it. One effective way to do this is by combining visualization with affirmations. If you are visualizing yourself as a confident public speaker, but struggle with doubt, reinforce your visualization with statements like, "I am a powerful, engaging speaker. I inspire and captivate audiences with ease." By repeating these affirmations alongside your visualization, you condition your mind to accept your vision as reality. Another subtle mistake is only visualizing the outcome without visualizing the process. Many people focus solely on the final goal, winning the championship, getting the promotion, making millions, but fail to visualize the steps required to get there. the result? When faced with the actual journey, they feel overwhelmed and unprepared. To avoid this, incorporate process visualization into your practice. If your goal is to run a marathon, don't just see yourself crossing the finish line. Visualize your daily training runs, the discipline required, and the moments when you push through exhaustion. If you want to build a successful business, visualize yourself making sales calls, networking, refining your product, and overcoming challenges. When you mentally rehearse the journey, you prepare your mind for the real-world effort needed to succeed. Finally, one of the most overlooked mistakes is being inconsistent with visualization. People often start strong, practicing visualization daily, but as time goes on, they become sporadic, only visualizing when they feel inspired. Consistency is key. Visualization is like exercise for the mind. Just as you cannot go to the gym once and expect lifelong fitness, you cannot visualize occasionally and expect dramatic results. To make visualization a true force in your life, commit to it daily. Set aside dedicated time, whether in the morning, before bed, or during quiet moments throughout the day, to reinforce your vision. The more frequently and vividly you visualize, the more deeply it will shape your subconscious, guiding you toward aligned action and ultimate success. Chapter 8. Advanced Visualization Techniques, Taking It to the Next Level. By now, you understand that visualization is more than just a mental exercise. It is a tool that can reshape your subconscious mind, shift your beliefs, and direct your actions towards success. You have learned about common mistakes that people make when practicing visualization and how to avoid them. But now it's time to go even deeper. What if you could refine your visualization practice to make it even more powerful? What if you could take it from a passive exercise to an immersive experience that actively rewires your brain for success? Many people stop at basic mental imagery, closing their eyes and picturing their goals. While this can be effective, there are far more advanced techniques that can enhance the impact of visualization, making it feel more real, more powerful, and more deeply ingrained in your mind. These techniques take visualization beyond mere imagination, engaging your senses, emotions, and subconscious on a much deeper level. Let's explore these next-level visualization methods and how you can integrate them into your daily routine for maximum results. 1. Sensory immersion, making your vision feel real. One of the biggest limitations of standard visualization is that people often rely solely on mental images. But the brain does not experience the world only through sight. It processes information through all 5 senses. This means that to make visualization truly effective, you must engage more than just your sense of sight. You must activate sound, touch, smell, and even taste to create a full sensory experience. For example, if your goal is to buy your dream home, don't just see yourself standing in front of it. Immerse yourself in the details. Hear the sound of your feet stepping onto the polished hardwood floors. Smell the fresh paint on the walls or the scent of coffee brewing in your kitchen. Feel the weight of the keys in your hand, the cool metal pressing against your palm. Run your fingers over the smooth marble countertops. Taste the crisp morning air as you sip your coffee on the balcony, gazing out at your perfect view. The more sensory-rich your visualization, the more your brain will believe it is real. This technique works because the brain does not fully distinguish between real experiences and vividly imagined ones. If you can engage your senses, your subconscious mind begins to register your vision as an actual memory, reinforcing the neural pathways that make achieving it feel natural and inevitable. 2. Scripting. Writing your future into reality. Scripting is a powerful, yet often overlooked visualization technique that involves writing out your vision as if it has already happened. Instead of simply imagining success in your mind, you put it into words, describing your ideal life in vivid, emotional, and detailed prose. For example, If your goal is to become a successful entrepreneur, you might write, "I wake up in my dream home, feeling a deep sense of gratitude for the life I have created. As I walk downstairs, the smell of fresh coffee fills the air, and I take a moment to reflect on the incredible journey that brought me here." My phone buzzes with a notification. Another major deal has just closed. My business is thriving, bringing in millions, and I have built a team of passionate, talented people who love what they do. Today, I have an interview with a top magazine, and tonight, I will celebrate with my family at my favorite restaurant. Life is better than I ever imagined, and I know that everything I have achieved started with a vision, a belief, and a commitment to making it real. The key to effective scripting is writing in the present tense, as if your goal has already manifested. This conditions your subconscious mind to accept your vision as reality, reinforcing the belief that it is already happening rather than something you are merely hoping for. To amplify the power of scripting, read it aloud daily with deep emotion. Feel the excitement, the gratitude, the sense of accomplishment as you speak your future into existence. Over time, your brain will start aligning your actions with this new self-image, leading you toward real-world success. 3. The mental rehearsal method, used by top performers. Elite athletes, musicians, and performers use a technique called mental rehearsal, which is a form of visualization that goes beyond just seeing success. It involves mentally practicing every detail of an event, preparing the brain and body for peak performance. For instance, a basketball player might mentally rehearse making a perfect free throw, feeling the ball in their hands, aligning their stance, hearing the swoosh of the net as the shot lands. A musician might close their eyes and mentally run through an entire performance, feeling their fingers move over the instrument, anticipating each note, and sensing the energy of the crowd. Studies have shown that mental rehearsal can activate the same neural pathways as physical practice, meaning that just by visualizing a skill with intense focus, you can improve your actual performance. In one famous study, researchers found that basketball players who mentally rehearsed free throws showed nearly the same improvement as those who physically practiced, demonstrating the real power of the mind in shaping performance. The quantum visualization technique, shaping your reality. A more advanced approach to visualization, sometimes called quantum visualization, involves seeing yourself not just as an individual achieving success, but as someone who is energetically attracting opportunities, resources, and people into your life. This method is based on the idea that your thoughts create your reality, and that by deeply aligning your mental frequency with your desired outcome, you naturally draw it into your experience. To practice quantum visualization, instead of just picturing your success, feel as if you are already living it while simultaneously sending gratitude, confidence, and certainty into the universe. Imagine the entire world shifting to align with your vision. Picture people being drawn to help you, doors opening effortlessly, and opportunities flowing into your life as if by magic. This technique is about shifting your entire state of being. Instead of waiting for external circumstances to change before you feel successful, you generate that feeling now, which in turn alters your energy and attracts the reality you desire. 5. Combining visualization with physical action. One of the most important ways to supercharge visualization is to pair it with real-world action. The mistake many people make is thinking of visualization as a passive exercise, but the most successful individuals use it as fuel for action. For example, if your vision is to be a best-selling author, visualization alone won't write the book. But when you combine visualization with consistent effort, something incredible happens. Your belief in yourself strengthens, your motivation increases, and your actions become aligned with your goals. To make visualization actionable, set a small, tangible step each time you visualize. If you're seeing yourself as a successful entrepreneur, ask yourself, what is one thing I can do today to move toward this reality? If you visualize yourself in peak physical shape, commit to a specific workout. By pairing mental imagery with daily progress, you create momentum that transforms vision into reality. Final thoughts: making advanced visualization a daily habit. These advanced techniques, sensory immersion, scripting, mental rehearsal, quantum visualization, and action-based visualization, are not just theories. They are proven methods used by the world's most successful individuals. The secret is consistency. Daily practice is what turns visualization from a fleeting thought into a deep subconscious program that drives real change. Chapter 9. Creating a powerful daily visualization routine. Now that we have explored the science, the common mistakes, and the advanced techniques of visualization, it is time to integrate this practice into a structured daily routine that can be applied consistently. Understanding how visualization works is one thing, but turning it into a daily habit that effectively rewires your mind and influences your behavior is what separates those who achieve real results from those who simply daydream. The key to success lies in building a routine that not only reinforces your goals, but also strengthens your belief system, directs your focus, and fuels your motivation to take action. Many people start practicing visualization with enthusiasm, but without a structured routine, they eventually lose momentum. They visualize sporadically, once in a while when they feel inspired, but fail to establish it as a daily discipline. Just like physical exercise strengthens muscles over time, consistent visualization strengthens the neural pathways that shape your thoughts, habits, and behaviors. A well-designed visualization routine ensures that you engage your subconscious mind daily, reinforcing your vision until it becomes an ingrained part of your reality. 1. Choosing the right time and environment for visualization. The effectiveness of your visualization practice is influenced by when and where you do it. Your brain is not equally receptive to visualization at all times of the day. The most powerful moments to visualize are right after waking up and just before going to sleep. These are the times when your brain is in a highly suggestible state as it transitions between deep relaxation and full wakefulness. When you wake up, your mind is in a state known as theta brainwaves, a phase associated with deep learning, creativity, and subconscious programming. If you visualize your goals immediately upon waking, your subconscious mind absorbs the imagery more effectively, shaping your beliefs and expectations for the day ahead. Likewise, just before bed, your mind is in a relaxed and receptive state, making it the perfect time to reinforce your vision before sleep. To maximize your results, designate a quiet, distraction-free space for visualization. Choose a place where you feel comfortable, relaxed, and undisturbed. This could be a specific chair in your home, a meditation corner, or even a peaceful outdoor setting. By associating this space with visualization, your brain begins to recognize it as a place of focus and transformation, making it easier to enter a deep visual state. 2. Setting a clear intention. Before you begin, before starting your visualization, it is crucial to set a clear intention. Many people approach visualization passively, simply imagining a vague idea of success without a focused purpose. But for visualization to be truly effective, you must define exactly what you want to achieve. Ask yourself, what specific goal am I visualizing today? How do I want to feel during this session? What actions will I take after visualizing? For example, if your goal is to become a confident public speaker, your intention might be, I am visualizing myself delivering a powerful speech with confidence, clarity, and passion. I want to feel completely at ease in front of my audience, commanding their attention with every word. By setting a strong intention, you align your visualization with a clear purpose, making it more impactful and focused. 3. Engaging all 5 senses for maximum impact. As we discussed in the previous section, The more senses you engage in your visualization, the more real it becomes to your mind. When you begin your session, don't just see your goal. Experience it with every fiber of your being. If your goal is to run a marathon, visualize. Sight: the vibrant colors of the crowd, the numbers on your race bib, the finish line in the distance. Sound: the rhythmic pounding of your feet on the pavement, the cheers of the spectators, the encouraging voice of a fellow runner. Touch: the cool morning air on your skin, the sweat dripping down your back, the texture of the metal placed around your neck. Smell: the scent of freshly cut grass along the race route, the aroma of energy drinks at the hydration stations. Taste: the salty tang of sweat on your lips, the refreshing coolness of water as you hydrate. The more vividly you engage your senses, the more your brain believes the experience is real, strengthening the neural pathways that align your actions with your vision. 4. Combining visualization with deep emotional connection. Visualization is not just about seeing your goals. It is about feeling them as if they are already happening. The stronger the emotional connection, the more powerfully your subconscious mind registers the vision as reality. If you are visualizing financial success, don't just picture money in your bank account. Feel the freedom, excitement, and gratitude that comes with it. If you are visualizing a healthier body, don't just see yourself fit. Feel the confidence, energy, and vitality coursing through you. To amplify emotion, practice gratitude visualization by imagining yourself already living your dream life and expressing profound gratitude for it. Say to yourself, "I am so grateful for the abundance in my life. I feel empowered, fulfilled, and deeply blessed to have achieved my dreams." This technique tricks your brain into believing the vision is already real, making it more likely to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. 5. Repeating positive affirmations alongside visualization. Pairing affirmations with visualization reinforces your belief system, programming your subconscious with empowering thoughts. As you visualize, repeat affirmations that align with your vision, such as, "I am confident and capable of achieving my dreams." "Success flows to me effortlessly." "I am becoming the best version of myself every day." The repetition of these statements, combined with powerful mental imagery, helps override self-doubt and negative conditioning, strengthening your mindset for success. 6. Taking immediate action after visualization. One of the most critical but often overlooked aspects of visualization is taking action immediately after visualizing. The mistake many people make is treating visualization as a passive exercise, but to truly make it work, you must use it as a springboard for action. As soon as your session ends, ask yourself, what is one step I can take right now to move closer to my goal? How can I align my actions today with the vision I just reinforced? If you visualize yourself as a successful author, commit to writing 500 words today. If you visualize financial abundance, take a concrete step toward improving your finances. Action is the bridge between imagination and reality, and the more consistently you pair visualization with deliberate effort, the faster you will see tangible results. Final thoughts: turning visualization into a lifelong habit. Creating a daily visualization routine is not just about picturing success. It is about systematically rewiring your mind for achievement, confidence, and unstoppable momentum. By practicing at the right time, engaging all senses, amplifying emotion, reinforcing affirmations, and taking immediate action, you turn visualization from a passive exercise into a powerful tool for real-world transformation. Chapter 10. The Neuroscience of Visualization: How your brain creates your reality. Visualization is not just a motivational technique or a mental trick used by dreamers and optimists. It is a scientifically backed process that alters the way your brain functions, rewires your neural pathways, and reshapes your subconscious beliefs. Every thought you think, Every image you visualize and every emotion you attach to your vision has a biological impact on your brain. The mind is not just an abstract concept, it is a physical entity shaped by electrical and chemical activity, constantly forming new connections, strengthening existing ones, and eliminating outdated patterns that no longer serve you. To truly master visualization and harness its power, you must understand the science behind it. Once you grasp how your brain processes imagery, belief, and expectation, you can intentionally program it to align with your goals, eliminating doubt and reinforcing the neural circuits that make success feel inevitable. For decades, scientists have studied the relationship between thoughts and reality, and what they have found is nothing short of astonishing. The brain does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. If you picture yourself in a situation with enough clarity and emotional intensity, your brain responds as if the experience is actually happening, triggering the same physiological and neurological reactions as if you were physically living the moment. This is why visualization is so powerful. It allows you to rehearse success before it happens, conditioning your mind and body to act in ways that align with your vision. 1. Neuroplasticity. How visualization rewires your brain for success. Your brain is not a fixed, unchangeable organ. It is constantly adapting, reshaping itself based on your thoughts, experiences, and habits. This phenomenon is known as neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. Every time you visualize something repeatedly and with intensity, you strengthen the neural pathways associated with that thought or action, making it easier for your brain to default to that pattern in real life. Consider this. When a musician practices a new song, their brain forms stronger and faster connections between neurons responsible for movement, rhythm, and memory. The same principle applies to visualization. When you repeatedly picture yourself succeeding, whether in your career, relationships, health, or any other area, you strengthen the mental circuits associated with confidence, capability, and achievement. Over time, these mental rehearsals make it easier for your brain to believe in your ability to succeed, reducing resistance, self-doubt, and hesitation. Studies have shown that people who engage in mental rehearsal experience physical changes in their brain structure. In one experiment, researchers found that individuals who visualized themselves practicing a skill, such as playing the piano, developed similar neural patterns as those who physically practiced, even without touching the instrument. This proves that mental training can be just as effective as physical practice, making visualization a critical tool for shaping your reality. 2. The reticular activating system, directing your brain's focus toward your goals. One of the most important brain structures involved in visualization is the reticular activating system, RAS, a network of neurons in the brainstem that acts as a filter, determining what information gets your attention and what gets ignored. The RAS is responsible for selective focus, meaning that it directs your awareness toward things that align with your dominant thoughts and beliefs. Have you ever noticed that when you start thinking about buying a new car, you suddenly see that car everywhere? Or when you learn a new word, you hear it multiple times in different places? This is your RAS at work. It scans your environment for anything relevant to your current focus, bringing it into your conscious awareness while filtering out everything else. When you practice visualization, you are training your RAS to recognize opportunities, resources, and connections that align with your goals. If you consistently picture yourself succeeding in business, your RAS begins to highlight opportunities, conversations, and ideas that support that vision. If you visualize yourself as a confident speaker, your RAS will filter out unnecessary distractions and heighten your awareness of moments where you can practice and improve. This is why successful people often say that when they set a clear intention and focus on their goals, doors seem to open effortlessly. Their RAS is guiding them toward the right opportunities. 3. Mirror neurons. How visualization helps you adopt the traits of successful people. Another fascinating discovery in neuroscience is the existence of mirror neurons, specialized brain cells that activate when you observe someone else performing an action. These neurons are responsible for learning through imitation, which is why people tend to pick up the habits, behaviors, and even emotional states of those around them. Visualization taps into this mechanism by allowing you to mentally observe yourself succeeding, reinforcing the behaviors and attitudes that lead to success. When you visualize yourself giving a confident presentation, your mirror neurons fire as if you were actually watching yourself do it in real life. This strengthens the neural circuits associated with confidence, making it easier to embody that trait when the moment arrives. Additionally, mirror neurons play a crucial role in emotional contagion, meaning they allow you to absorb and internalize the energy of those you observe. This is why one of the most powerful visualization techniques involves mentally surrounding yourself with successful, inspiring individuals. If you repeatedly visualize yourself in the company of great leaders, thinkers, and achievers, your brain adopts their mindset, habits, and emotional state, accelerating your own growth. The placebo effect, proof that the mind shapes reality. The placebo effect is one of the most compelling pieces of evidence that belief alone can influence physical and psychological reality. In countless medical studies, patients who are given sugar pills but told they are receiving real medication often experience real improvements in their symptoms, sometimes as effectively as those who take actual drugs. This happens because the brain expects a certain outcome, and in response, it triggers physiological changes that align with that expectation. The same principle applies to visualization. When you deeply believe in your vision, when you picture it with unwavering certainty, your brain responds as if it is already happening. It releases chemicals, activates neural pathways, and conditions your subconscious mind to align with that belief, making it easier for you to take action, make decisions, and create circumstances that support your success. 5. How to use this knowledge to supercharge your visualization practice. Now that you understand the neuroscience of visualization, it is time to use this knowledge to make your practice even more effective. Here's how you can apply these principles. Use neuroplasticity to your advantage. Visualize your goals consistently to strengthen the neural pathways that support success, making achievement feel natural and effortless. Train your RAS to recognize opportunities. Be specific about what you want so that your brain actively seeks out opportunities and resources to help you succeed. Leverage mirror neurons. Visualize yourself acting with confidence, strength, and intelligence to internalize these traits and make them a part of your identity. Harness the placebo effect. Expect success with complete certainty, knowing that your brain will respond as if your vision is already real. By combining scientific knowledge with daily visualization, you take this practice beyond wishful thinking and turn it into a powerful, results-driven technique. In the next section, we will explore how to overcome mental blocks, fears, and doubts that interfere with visualization, ensuring that your mind remains completely aligned with your goals. Chapter 11. Overcoming mental blocks and eliminating limiting beliefs. No matter how vivid your visualizations are, or how deeply you commit to seeing your desired future in your mind's eye, if your subconscious is burdened with limiting beliefs and unexamined mental blocks, your progress will be hindered. These invisible barriers operate in the background, influencing every decision, reaction, and opportunity you either embrace or unconsciously reject. What makes them so powerful is their subtlety. Many people do not even realize they are carrying mental roadblocks because these beliefs have become so deeply ingrained that they feel like absolute truths. They form the foundation upon which all other thoughts rest, dictating how high you allow yourself to climb, how much success you feel worthy of attaining, and how much joy, love, or abundance you believe you deserve. Visualization is a transformative tool, but it cannot override a mind that is internally programmed to reject the very success it seeks. If your subconscious holds on to the belief that you are not capable, not worthy, or not meant for the life you desire, no amount of visualization will counteract the quiet self-sabotage that occurs beneath the surface. To truly harness the power of visualization, these mental blocks must be identified, challenged, and replaced with empowering beliefs that align with your goals. Mental blocks originate from a variety of sources, and often they begin forming in childhood when we first start absorbing the messages given to us by parents, teachers, authority figures, and society. Many people inherit limiting beliefs about money, success, relationships, and personal worth without even questioning them. A child who repeatedly hears statements like, "Money doesn't grow on trees," "You have to work yourself to exhaustion to succeed," or "People like us don't get ahead," will unconsciously adopt these ideas as truth. Similarly, early experiences with failure, criticism, or rejection can cement the belief that trying new things leads to disappointment, that vulnerability results in pain, or that success is only reserved for those born with exceptional talent. As we grow older, these beliefs become self-fulfilling prophecies because the brain filters experiences in a way that reinforces what it already believes. If you carry the belief that you are not naturally gifted in a certain area, you may unconsciously avoid opportunities that would allow you to develop those skills, reinforcing the idea that success in that field is not meant for you. If you believe that wealth is only attained through dishonest means, you may subconsciously reject financial opportunities, remaining stuck in scarcity despite consciously wishing for abundance. These mental barriers function as an invisible script, dictating the choices you make and the results you experience, often without you even realizing they exist. To break free from these limitations, the first step is to identify the subconscious beliefs that are holding you back. This requires deep introspection and honesty. Begin by examining your automatic thoughts and emotional reactions when you think about success, money, relationships, health, or any other area of life where you feel stuck. Do you feel a surge of excitement, or do you notice hesitation, doubt, or discomfort? What words come to mind when you picture yourself achieving your biggest goals? Are they words of encouragement, or do they carry undertones of skepticism and fear? Pay attention to the internal dialogue that arises when you visualize success. If you hear thoughts like, "I don't deserve this," "This will never happen for me," or "I'm not the kind of person who can achieve this level of success," you have uncovered a limiting belief that must be addressed. Sometimes, these beliefs manifest as a general sense of unease or resistance rather than explicit thoughts. If you find yourself procrastinating on goals that matter to you, if you sabotage opportunities that align with your dreams, or if you struggle to maintain progress after initial success, there is likely a deeper belief at play that is pulling you back to a familiar but unfulfilling reality. Once you have identified these mental blocks, the next step is to question their validity. A belief is nothing more than a thought that has been repeated enough times to feel like truth, but that does not make it an absolute fact. Where did this belief originate? Was it something you were told as a child, or did it develop from a past experience? Does it apply universally to everyone, or are there examples of people who have proven it wrong? For instance, if you believe that financial success is only possible through relentless struggle, look for evidence of individuals who have built wealth in ways that align with their passion, creativity, and sense of purpose. If you believe you are not naturally gifted at something, examine stories of those who succeeded through perseverance rather than innate talent. The more you challenge these beliefs with contrary evidence, the weaker their hold becomes. However, simply dismantling a limiting belief is not enough. It must be replaced with a new, empowering belief that supports your desired reality. This process requires conscious repetition, emotional reinforcement, and aligned action. Begin by crafting new beliefs that directly counteract the old ones. If you previously believed, "I am not worthy of success," replace it with, "I am fully deserving of all the success, joy, and abundance that I envision." If you once thought, "Opportunities never come my way," shift it to, "I am open to and attract incredible opportunities that align with my goals." Speak these new beliefs aloud, write them down, and most importantly, pair them with strong emotional imagery. The subconscious mind learns through emotion and repetition. The more vividly you can visualize yourself embodying this new belief, feeling the confidence, ease, and certainty of success, the more quickly your mind will accept it as truth. Another key aspect of reprogramming limiting beliefs is emotional anchoring. Visualization becomes exponentially more powerful when paired with strong positive emotions. When you visualize success, do not just see it, feel it as though it is already happening. If you are visualizing a confident, thriving version of yourself, allow that confidence to rise within you, shifting your posture, your breathing, and your energy in the present moment. If you are visualizing financial abundance, feel the sense of security, freedom, and gratitude that comes with it. The brain does not distinguish between a real experience and one vividly imagined with emotion, meaning that by repeatedly feeling the emotions of success, you accelerate the process of rewiring your subconscious mind. Finally, reprogramming beliefs requires action that aligns with the new mental framework you are building. If you are shifting from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset, start making decisions that reflect trust in that abundance, whether it is investing in personal growth, taking opportunities you would have once avoided, or stepping into situations that challenge old fears. If you are overcoming self-doubt, take daily actions that reinforce confidence, no matter how small. The subconscious mind responds powerfully to action. The more evidence you provide that your new belief is real, the stronger it becomes. By consciously identifying, questioning, and replacing limiting beliefs, you create a foundation where visualization can operate without resistance. Instead of being an exercise that battles against subconscious doubt, it becomes a seamless, powerful process where your thoughts, emotions, and actions are in full alignment with the reality you seek to create. Once this alignment is in place, you will find that your ability to manifest results through visualization is not only possible, but inevitable. In the next section, we will take this understanding further by exploring advanced visualization techniques that amplify and accelerate your ability to shape your reality with precision and clarity. Chapter 12: Advanced Techniques to Amplify Visualization Power. Once you have dismantled limiting beliefs and restructured your subconscious to embrace the reality you wish to manifest, the next step is refining and amplifying your visualization practice using advanced techniques. While basic visualization, picturing a desired outcome in your mind's eye, is powerful, there are ways to supercharge the process, ensuring that your subconscious absorbs these visions as undeniable truths rather than abstract wishes. This step is about precision, depth, and emotional intensity. The more vividly and consistently you can bring your vision to life, the faster your external world will begin to mirror it. Advanced visualization is not just about seeing a goal, but embedding it deeply into your nervous system, emotions, and daily behaviors, so that your mind and body begin responding as if this reality already exists. The key is to go beyond passive imagery and actively engage with every layer of the experience: sight, sound, emotion, and even physical sensation, until your subconscious accepts it as an unshakable truth. One of the most effective ways to enhance visualization is multisensory engagement. Many people make the mistake of only using visual imagery, creating a mental picture of their success, but failing to engage the full spectrum of human perception. Your subconscious mind responds far more powerfully when you immerse yourself in an experience as if you are truly there. Instead of merely seeing your goal in your mind, hear the sounds that accompany it, feel the textures, inhale the scents, and engage every sense available. If your vision involves standing on a stage, delivering a powerful speech, do not just see yourself up there. Listen to the applause. Feel the warmth of the spotlight on your skin. Notice the texture of the microphone in your hand. If your vision is financial abundance, do not merely picture a number in a bank account. Imagine the feel of crisp bills in your fingers. Hear the sound of financial transactions confirming success. Breathe in the scent of a luxurious space you aspire to own. The more you saturate your mind with sensory details, the more real it becomes, and the more quickly your subconscious begins aligning your actions with that reality. Another potent technique is time distortion visualization, in which you manipulate your perspective to experience your success for multiple time frames. Instead of only visualizing yourself achieving a goal in the present, mentally move forward into the future and experience the long-term impact of your success. Picture yourself 1 year after achieving your goal. What has changed? How has your identity evolved? How do you carry yourself differently? Now go further ahead, 5 years into the future, and experience the deeper, more lasting transformation. How does it feel to look back and know you achieved something that once seemed distant? The purpose of this method is to create a psychological sense of inevitability, allowing your subconscious to perceive your success not as a possibility, but as a certainty that has already occurred in a different dimension of time. This rewires your brain to operate from a place of confidence rather than doubt, reinforcing the belief that success is not something you are striving for, but something you are already living. Another powerful enhancement to visualization is third-person versus first-person shifting. Most people default to either one of these perspectives without realizing that both have distinct psychological benefits. If you tend to visualize from a first-person perspective, experiencing the vision through your own eyes, this helps your mind absorb the reality as a personal experience, embedding it into your self-identity. However, shifting to a third-person perspective, seeing yourself from an outside viewpoint, like a movie, adds an additional layer of reinforcement. The third-person perspective allows you to witness yourself as an evolved version of who you are today, reinforcing the belief that change is real and tangible. Try alternating between these perspectives during a single visualization session. Begin in first person, feeling yourself fully inside the experience, and then shift out to third person, seeing yourself embodying the success, confidence, and transformation you seek. This dual approach strengthens both the emotional and cognitive dimensions of visualization, deepening your connection to the outcome. Another profound technique that accelerates results is emotional fusion, the deliberate practice of infusing your visualization with the most intense and authentic emotions possible. The subconscious mind does not respond to mere intellectual concepts. It responds to feelings. You can visualize something 1,000 times, but if it lacks deep emotional charge, it will remain a distant fantasy rather than an embedded belief. The key is to practice emotional alignment, which means not just imagining your success, but fully feeling the emotions you expect to experience once it happens. If your vision is financial abundance, how does it feel to wake up every day knowing that money is no longer a source of stress, but a tool for freedom? If your goal is a thriving relationship, how does it feel to be deeply loved, valued, and connected? These emotions must not only be felt in your mind, but physically anchored into your body. Stand up, breathe deeply, and allow yourself to embody the confidence, joy, and certainty of your desired outcome as you visualize. A further technique that enhances visualization is environmental reinforcement, structuring your physical space to reflect the reality you are creating. This method is based on the understanding that our surroundings shape our subconscious programming more than we realize. If your vision is to become a highly successful entrepreneur, But your workspace is cluttered, uninspiring, and chaotic. It sends conflicting messages to your subconscious. Your environment must mirror your future self. This could mean upgrading your wardrobe to match the confidence you are cultivating, decorating your space with images and objects that symbolize success, or even adjusting your daily routines to reflect the habits of someone who already embodies your vision. Every detail of your surroundings should subtly reinforce the mental image you are building, ensuring that visualization does not remain an abstract exercise, but a reality taking form in the present. One of the most overlooked but essential aspects of advanced visualization is energetic alignment, ensuring that your vibrational state matches the frequency of your desired outcome. Everything in the universe operates on a vibrational level, including thoughts and emotions. If you are visualizing success, but your energy is filled with doubt, fear, or frustration, you are sending contradictory signals that slow manifestation. Raising your energetic state means actively cultivating emotions of gratitude, excitement, and certainty before the external evidence appears. This is a fundamental shift in mindset. Most people wait until they achieve a goal to feel success, but in advanced visualization, you must feel success first, and then reality follows. A powerful way to do this is through gratitude-based visualization, where you mentally place yourself in the future and feel overwhelming gratitude for everything you have already achieved, as if it has already happened. Gratitude is a powerful amplifier. It shifts your energy instantly, making your visualization more magnetic and accelerating its impact on your subconscious. Each of these advanced techniques works synergistically, deepening your connection to your vision and embedding it into your subconscious reality. By engaging all senses, manipulating time perspectives, shifting viewpoints, infusing deep emotion, reinforcing through environment, and aligning your energy, you move beyond passive daydreaming into active reality creation. The key to mastery is consistency. The more often and intensely you practice, the faster your subconscious adopts these visualizations as truth. In the next section, we will explore how to take visualization beyond mental exercises and translate it into tangible, aligned action, ensuring that every step you take in your daily life reinforces the vision you have built in your mind. Chapter 13. From Thought to Action. Bridging the gap between visualization and reality. While the power of visualization lies in its ability to shape the subconscious and prime the mind for success, it must never remain a passive exercise. The most common misconception is that visualization alone is enough to manifest change, but the truth is that mental imagery must be accompanied by decisive, aligned action for it to yield tangible results. The mind is powerful, but it works in tandem with the body. It is not a substitute for action, but a catalyst for it. In this section, we will explore the precise steps needed to bridge the gap between vision and reality, how to translate mental imagery into daily structured action that propels you toward your goal with certainty and momentum. Without this essential step, visualization remains an unfulfilled daydream rather than a transformational tool for real-world achievement. The first step in turning visualization into reality is mapping the micro-actions that align with your vision. One of the most significant reasons people fail to bring their dreams to life is that they focus only on the final destination, overwhelmed by the perceived distance between where they are now and where they want to be. This creates paralysis rather than progress. The key is to reverse engineer success by breaking it down into specific, manageable steps. Instead of simply visualizing the grand outcome, such as owning a successful business, achieving financial freedom, or mastering a new skill, ask yourself, what are the precise daily actions that bridge the gap between my current reality and my desired outcome? The more granular and specific these steps are, the more actionable they become. A goal that remains vague will never translate into movement. Instead of thinking, I want to be a successful author, break it down further. I will write 1,000 words every morning before work, or I will spend 1 hour each day studying the structure of best-selling books. These micro-actions, when compounded over time, create the momentum that turns visualization into achievement. Another essential practice is embodiment, acting as if your desired reality already exists in the present. Visualization shifts your mindset, but embodiment shifts your behavior. One of the most powerful mental tricks for accelerating manifestation is to operate from the identity of your future self rather than your current limitations. If your vision is to become a confident public speaker, do not wait until you are on stage to begin embodying confidence. Practice it in everyday conversations, in meetings, and in the way you carry yourself. If your visualization centers on financial success, start managing your current finances as if you are already the person who handles wealth wisely. The subconscious mind responds to consistency between thought and action. If your behaviors contradict your visualization, it creates cognitive dissonance, slowing down the process. But when your actions align with your mental imagery, you send a powerful signal to the brain that your vision is not just a distant hope, but an unfolding reality. One of the most overlooked yet crucial aspects of bridging the gap between visualization and reality is building an environment that supports your vision. Your surroundings, habits, and daily influences all shape your subconscious programming, whether you realize it or not. Many people sabotage their visualization process by keeping themselves in the same environment that reinforces their old identity. If you are trying to cultivate an abundant mindset, but surround yourself with negative influences that reinforce scarcity, your subconscious will struggle to adopt the new belief. If you are visualizing health and vitality, but live in a space that encourages unhealthy habits, your mind will default to familiar patterns rather than new behaviors. A key technique for reinforcing visualization is consciously curating your surroundings to reflect your future self. This includes the people you spend time with, the books you read, the media you consume, and even the physical objects in your space. Your environment should act as a constant reinforcement of the reality you are creating, not a reminder of the past you are leaving behind. Another powerful strategy to ensure visualization translates into tangible change is habit stacking, integrating small but consistent actions into existing daily routines to create long-term momentum. The brain thrives on habitual patterns. It is easier to build new habits when they are anchored to established ones. If your goal is to develop a morning visualization practice but struggle with consistency, attach it to something you already do, such as visualizing right after brushing your teeth or while drinking your morning coffee. If your vision involves building a business, link a daily task, such as making one strategic connection, to an existing habit, such as checking emails. Habit stacking ensures that small, consistent actions accumulate over time, reinforcing the vision in real-world behavior. In addition to structured action, another crucial element of turning visualization into reality is tracking progress and reinforcing success through reflection. The mind responds powerfully to evidence. If you only visualize but never track progress, you deprive yourself of the momentum needed to stay committed. Keeping a visualization journal, a space where you document the small shifts happening in your reality, reinforces belief in the process. Every time you see evidence that your visualization is manifesting in real life, it strengthens neural pathways that confirm success is inevitable. This is why some of the most successful individuals keep meticulous records of their progress. They understand that success is not a single event, but the accumulation of small compounding victories. Reviewing progress regularly allows you to adjust, refine, and optimize your actions based on real-world feedback. Equally important in the visualization to reality process is resilience and adaptability. No matter how vividly you visualize and how strategically you act, obstacles will arise. Many people abandon their vision the moment they encounter resistance, mistakenly believing that challenges are a sign of failure rather than growth. The reality is that setbacks are an inevitable part of manifestation. The key is not to avoid them, but to reframe them as necessary stepping stones to success. Every major achievement in history was preceded by moments of doubt, failure, and recalibration. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is the ability to persist through discomfort. Visualization should not only focus on the ideal outcome, but also mentally prepare you to overcome obstacles with unwavering determination. If you anticipate and visualize yourself handling setbacks with grace and problem-solving skills, you strengthen your ability to stay on course when real-world difficulties arise. A final and often underestimated factor in turning visualization into reality is external accountability. While visualization is an internal process, sharing your vision with trusted mentors, coaches, or accountability partners can create an added layer of commitment. When you verbalize your goal and regularly check in on progress, it becomes harder to retreat into complacency. Surrounding yourself with people who challenge you, hold you accountable, and encourage you to stay aligned with your vision accelerates the transformation process. In summary, visualization is the seed, but action is the soil in which it grows. Thought alone is not enough. Structured microactions, embodied behavior, environmental reinforcement, habit stacking, progress tracking, resilience, and external accountability are essential to turning visualization into reality. The next section will explore how to take all these elements and build a sustainable system for lifelong visualization success, ensuring that your ability to manifest and achieve continues to evolve beyond a single goal into a lasting way of life. Chapter 14: Mastering the Art of Visualization, Sustainability, Long-Term Growth, and Embedding It into Everyday Life. Visualization is not a one-time exercise, nor is it a temporary technique that you apply only when you need a burst of motivation. It is a way of thinking, a process of seeing beyond present limitations, and a practice of mentally constructing the future before it unfolds in reality. Many people begin visualization with enthusiasm, but fail to sustain it long enough to see its full power manifest. The challenge is not just in learning how to visualize, but in developing a system that ensures it becomes an integrated, unshakable part of your daily life. True mastery of visualization comes when it is no longer something you consciously do, but instead a natural extension of your thinking process, a fundamental way in which you navigate the world. To reach this level, it is crucial to create a self-sustaining system that keeps visualization alive, continuously fuels momentum, and allows you to adapt and evolve your mental imagery in alignment with real-world progress. One of the first and most essential elements of long-term visualization success is establishing daily non-negotiable visualization rituals. Just as an athlete trains their muscles every day to strengthen performance, your mind requires consistent reinforcement to maintain and expand its ability to construct powerful mental imagery. Skipping visualization even for a few days can weaken the subconscious imprint, causing doubt and uncertainty to creep back in. To prevent this, you must commit to daily visualization sessions as a core part of your routine. These sessions should not feel like a chore or an obligation, but rather a sacred, empowering moment where you reconnect with your higher vision. The best time for visualization is often in the morning when your mind is fresh and undistracted, or at night before sleep when the subconscious is most receptive. However, the true key is consistency. Whether it is 5 minutes or 50, ensuring that visualization is never neglected strengthens its long-term effectiveness. Beyond structured visualization sessions, another powerful method to sustain long-term success is integrating visualization into daily moments of reflection and mindfulness. Instead of treating visualization as a separate activity, learn to seamlessly weave it into everyday experiences. When walking, instead of letting your mind drift aimlessly, mentally rehearse your future achievements. When waiting in line, use the time to reinforce an empowering self-image. When engaging in daily routines, see yourself as the version of you that already embodies success. This constant mental reinforcement ensures that visualization is not something you step into only for brief moments, but a perpetual way of engaging with the world. Over time, this shift in perception changes how you react to challenges, interact with opportunities, and approach your goals. It becomes second nature rather than a forced practice. A crucial aspect of mastering visualization long-term is refining and evolving your mental imagery as you grow. Many people fail to adapt their visualization practice as their journey progresses, resulting in stagnation. When you first start, your mental images may be broad and aspirational, but as you take action and gain clarity, your vision must become increasingly specific and sophisticated. This refinement is necessary because, as you move closer to your goals, the details of what success looks like change. If your vision remains static while your real-world progress accelerates, it creates a disconnect that weakens motivation. To avoid this, regularly evaluate and update your visualization practice, ensuring that it aligns with both your evolving desires and the external results you are achieving. Just as a map must be adjusted when new roads are discovered, your visualization must be modified to reflect your expanding reality. Another essential strategy for making visualization a permanent part of your life is combining it with emotional anchoring techniques that reinforce its power on a subconscious level. Your mind does not respond to visualization alone. It responds to the feelings and emotions associated with it. To enhance its effectiveness, you must repeatedly condition your nervous system to associate positive emotional states with your visualized success. One way to do this is through physiological activation, engaging in physical movements that embody the energy of your vision. If your visualization involves confidence, stand tall, take deep breaths, and move as if you already possess that confidence. If your vision is financial abundance, practice holding yourself in a posture that exudes success. Over time, this physical reinforcement conditions your brain to recognize that your visualization is not just a distant idea, but a living, breathing reality that you are actively stepping into. A major factor in ensuring visualization sustains its impact over time is building a strong feedback loop between visualization and action. Many people visualize but fail to track and recognize how their visualization is translating into real-world changes. This disconnect weakens belief and makes it easy to dismiss visualization as mere imagination. To avoid this, it is essential to document and measure the tangible shifts occurring as a result of your visualization practice. Keeping a detailed visualization success journal allows you to see patterns, recognize progress, and reinforce belief in the process. Write down each moment where reality starts aligning with your mental imagery, whether it is a small win, an unexpected opportunity, or a behavioral shift. These documented experiences serve as proof that visualization is working, reinforcing motivation and making it easier to sustain over time. One of the final and most powerful ways to embed visualization into everyday life is by turning it into a lifelong mindset rather than a temporary tool. Visualization is not just about achieving one goal. It is about developing a permanent ability to see beyond circumstances and consistently align thoughts with future potential. The people who master visualization do not just use it sporadically when they want something. They apply it to every aspect of their lives. They visualize their ideal health, relationships, personal growth, and contributions to the world. They see possibilities where others see limitations, solutions where others see problems. This mental habit of continuously shaping the future in the mind before it manifests in reality becomes their default way of thinking. When this level of integration is reached, visualization ceases to be a technique and becomes a fundamental part of how you experience life. In conclusion, visualization is one of the most powerful tools for shaping reality, but its effectiveness depends on long-term consistency, emotional depth, and integration into daily life. It is not enough to visualize occasionally. True transformation occurs when visualization becomes as natural as breathing, a seamless extension of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. The most successful individuals in the world, whether in business, sports, or personal development, do not rely on external circumstances to determine their future. They create the future first in their minds and then bring it into existence through deliberate action. This is the essence of visualization mastery. Not merely seeing a future you desire, but living it in your mind so deeply that it becomes inevitable in the physical world. By building daily rituals, integrating visualization into every moment, refining mental imagery, reinforcing emotions, tracking progress, and adopting visualization as a lifelong mindset, you unlock the ability to continuously shape and direct your destiny.